What up, guys? This is gonna be my like unfiltered review of Erased. I already seen the show about a few months ago, better a few years ago, and I'm just coming back to it. And I missed a lot, or maybe I just forgot. Maybe I skipped through because it got a little bit boring. But the second watch, it's a pretty good anime. I got a few notes here on every episode, so I'm gonna be going through every episode, seeing what I did like, seeing what I didn't like, seeing what I can remember, seeing what I forgot. It's unfiltered view. You didn't come here for a presentation. You didn't come here for bullet points. You came here to listen to a guy who likes to watch anime. You came here for the review. Okay, so let's get into the review. Chop chop. First episode. It's called Flashing Before My Eyes. And the first episode, Satoru, you see, I forgot the guy's name already. He's got this strange ability called Revive, which sends him back in time when something bad happens to him, or is about to happen to him. And we first see how the power works when the kid was gonna get hit by the truck, and he saved the kid. So it was pretty good. I like how the show started. It had a good hook to it, and it necessarily didn't bore you with exposition or like a monologue or a lot of talking, a lot of chit chat, a lot of anime or a lot of shows in general. They feel like you should be so invested. You should just listen to a guy talk about it for about 20 minutes. I don't really care all that much. I don't know what I'm watching. Please give me a hook. And the hook was he's got the power called revival. Boom, you see revival. Ooh, this is interesting. It comes back to life. All right, I might give it an episode or two. And eventually, spoiler alert, it's the first episode. Somebody UK'd his mom. Somebody stabbed his mom in his apartment. Oh, she came to visit him. Oh, I didn't even mention this. He's a pizza delivery driver. So she came to visit him, be like, "Hey, what's up, son? You're 29 years old. You're a pizza delivery driver. You're broke. You got no money. You got no motion. What's up?" And she came to visit. She was like cooking or cleaning, and out of nowhere, she got stabbed up. So before she got stabbed up, they were talking about how, you know, there's like a girl back in 1988 that went missing, and then later found out she was murdered, and there were a few other girls that got murdered. And before she, kicked the bucket, she thought, well, uh, you know, I think I know who the murderer is. And somehow she died the same day. Crazy. It's crazy that she didn't think about kids getting murdered for 30 years. Or like, you know, because this story is set when they're like 6 or maybe like 10 or something. And she didn't think about them damn kids for 18 years. The three kids, her literal neighbors that got murdered for 18 years. Well, yeah, teach her sons. So after she gets chefed up, uh, the police come. The police come. They're like, "Whoa!" Because the neighbor saw her. Neighbor saw her, and he walked in. He's covered in blood. And he thought, "Oh, he stabbed his mom." Instead of just explaining to the police that, I just walked in. I saw my mom getting stabbed. He immediately flees the scene. What? You immediately flee the scene? You, even if your neighbor saw your mom chefed up and you over her body, maybe she thought, oh, you stabbed him. Your initial thing isn't, oh, let me get out of here. Maybe it's, let me call the police. Hmm? Let me call the police first before she calls them. I can explain. But anyways, after, Momty is murdered, cops spot him, he starts to run away. Boom, he's transported 18 years back before the little girl was murdered. That's where we start off episode 2. Palm of the hand. So he's transported back, and Kayo, his classmate. I don't. Oh yeah, he's got to say Kayo. That's the girl in this class. So the first episode was pretty dense. It took me like a few minutes to get through it, but these later ones are kind of quick. Or I got bored and. Well, first he starts talking to her. He finds out she's a loner. She got no friends. Ooh, so she tries to be her friend, and now we're on Birthmark right now. Birthmark is he goes and finds she's being abused, and how she's being abused is her mother locks her in the shed in the winter to like discipline her. I'm guessing, and then he's like, "Oh, that's bad." So he just tries to help her. Eventually, it's her birthday, and they have the same birthday. This is episode 3. Accomplice. I told you, episode 1 was dense. The rest are kind of like lame. So they find out they have the birthday. He invites her, invites the friends. Tries to make her happy. Ooh, and he goes, "Yay! I saved her." Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O. Next episode, she's dead. So, originally, she was kidnapped and killed on March 2nd. Now she's kidnapped and killed on March 3rd. What? But I thought the mom was the murderer. I thought the mom was gonna kill her. No. The mom wasn't the murderer or the killer. No. The mom was alright. So, we got a Grim Reaper. So basically, after she got murdered, he flashes back in time and he's still being chased by the police. Essentially, nothing changed. Nothing changed in the story. So he's gotta figure out, and he's running, and he has this whole thing. I'm pretty sure this time he flashback. He has this whole thing where his coworkers trick him. They call the police. Then they don't call the police. Then they try to help him, and it's like I find it filler. I found like the real interesting part was when he was back there. So I'm not gonna talk about it. Oh, you want me to talk about it? Oh, go find another video. There's like a guy who broke down every scene. It's been like 2 hours. Like it's 20 hours making it. I'm not doing that. And then he flashes back, and then he's trying to like prevent the murders. Flashes back trying to prevent the murders. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. So this time, when he flashes back, he goes, I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to involve my 10-year-old friends. So he involves his 10-year-old friends, and they're like, ooh, let's save her together. So they basically like kidnap her. This grown man, this 30-year-old man in this 10-year-old's body, convinces this little girl to abandon her abusive mother and then go into a shed. Or no, not a shed, a bus. So they go into the bus, and he keeps her there for a few days. Eventually, he's able to, talk to her or call the police. And after the police are called, she gets sent away. So basically, she's safe. Then he starts stalking the other girl, the next girl. I told you there's 3 that's gonna get murdered. He starts to stalk the next girl. I don't remember her name. We're gonna call her Barbara. So Barbara gets stalked by him, and then he like helps her out, and he does a bunch of other stuff, and eventually, she doesn't get murdered too, and he helps the other girl, and they don't get murdered. No one gets murdered. Hooray! Hooray! He saved the day. And then by the way, there's this teacher. There's this teacher that helps around. That's in the story. He's just helpful. He's just a helpful guy. Dun dun dun. Turns out he was the murderer. And he was like, why is it legit every time I try to murder somebody, he's always in the way? So, when he was gonna murder the last girl, he like set up this like plan where he told somebody and to meet it, and that he was gonna murder her, and then he eventually appeared. So he's like, okay, this kid's trying to stop me or something. Then he gets into the car with him because he wanted to chase down a car to like see the to help the girl prevent the girl from being murdered or whatever. But he then he then gets kidnapped by the teacher, aka the murderer, and he locks the seatbelt, and the car goes into the water. Yeah, he does child safety lock on the seatbelt, and he kind of like lets the car slide into the water, and eventually the guy survives. 15 years pass, and he wakes up out of his coma. His mom like helped him and nurtured him, and dun dun dun. The teacher comes. He's like, "Let's go talk." He goes, I remember that you wanted to kill me." Then he like try to jump off the building. But man, at the end, it kind of sounds a bit stupid, doesn't it? Like the beginning sounded cool. I wish, and I get the first part, but I feel like they could have just like done it better. Like the ending at least. Uh, Personally, this is just off the top of my dome. After watching the show, I feel like if they would have had like a showdown, they kind of had a showdown on the top of the roof, like I mentioned, but if they would have had an actual showdown when he was a kid, it would make the story better because it's not even a good ending necessarily because he just lost 15 years of his life and the girl he saved ended up sleeping with his best friend and having a kid. So, what is the ending? What like it's not a very happy ending for a guy who sacrificed so much to save this kid. I know it's necessarily because he was in danger and like his mom, so he needed to save himself to save his mom. But he was really trying to save these kids, and he really cared for them. He loses 15 years of his life, and it was in a coma, a debilitating coma. What? That's how you do the hero? That's not a good ending. I feel like they should have had a showdown when he was a kid, and maybe with the power of friendship or something. Maybe it could have been like a redirect, but like I actually knew you were the killer, and that's why I got the police here. You're exposed. And then he flashes back, and his mom's cooking him food, or in the back in the park, he's like, "Mom, I love you." Boom. That's how it should have ended. But this whack ass ending of him being trapped in his body for 15 years is just, and now he's just happy. He's paralyzed and happy. Wow, great. Or maybe he gets to walk later on. I don't know. Yeah, this is my off the dome, off the cuff review. If you like it or don't, I don't care. I like to ramble. I know I didn't read all the numbers. I just when I got to 6 or 8, I got like damn. I don't. Yeah, I really care. All right, bye.